A very good morning to everyone. We are discussing the nomenclature of hydrocarbons. In the previous videos, we have seen the classification of hydrocarbons. So these hydrocarbons initially they have been classified into open chain compounds, or we can say aliphatic compounds, and closed ring compounds. These open chain compounds, based upon their state of saturation, they are further classified into saturated and unsaturated compounds. These saturated compounds, they are further classified into straight chain and branched chain compounds, and also these unsaturated compounds, they are further classified into straight chain and branched chain compounds. So this is the classification of open chain compounds or aliphatic compounds. So coming to closed ring compounds, these closed ring compounds also based upon their saturation, then based upon the type of atoms the ring is made up of, they are also classified into different categories. So this we will discuss in the coming videos. So first, in the previous videos, we have seen the nomenclature of open chain compounds or aliphatic compounds. So in this we have finished the saturated compounds, the unsaturated compounds. That means the nomenclature of saturated compounds and nomenclature of unsaturated compounds. So in this video, we will focus on some examples what we have discussed so far regarding the nomenclature of open chain compounds. So here we defined hydrocarbons as the compounds that are made up of carbon and hydrogen. So the compounds that are made up of carbon and hydrogen, they are called as hydrocarbons. So coming to the nomenclature of these hydrocarbons, let us consider this example. So first, what we have to do, we have to count the number of carbon atoms that are present in this compound. So in the previous videos, we have discussed that while naming a hydrocarbon, we will be identifying the prefix and suffix. By adding these prefixes, suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound. So for the given compound, we have to see what is the prefix of the compound and what is the suffix, and by adding the prefix and suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound. So we have also discussed that this prefix, it indicates the size of the compound. That means the number of carbon atoms, and the suffix indicates the nature of the compound. That means whether it is saturated or unsaturated. Or we can say behavior of the compound. So prefix indicates the size of the compound, suffix indicates the nature of the compound. In this nature, so far we have seen the state of saturation of the compound. Coming to the behavior of the compound, we will discuss about the behavior of the compound when we enter into functional chemistry. So now, this is the given compound. For this given compound, we have to write the prefix and suffix. So how to identify the prefix and suffix to the given compound? So we have seen that the compounds containing 1 carbon atom, 2 carbon atoms, 3 carbon atoms and 4 carbon atoms, these compounds, they are having standard names as meth, eth, prop and but. These are the standard prefixes for the carbon atoms, for the hydrocarbons that contains 1 carbon atom, 2 carbon atom, 3 carbon atoms and 4 carbon atoms respectively. 5 carbon atoms from the compound that contains 5 carbon atoms, we will be using Greek numericals as prefixes. If the compound contains 5 carbon atoms, prefix pent will be used, 6 carbon atoms, hex will be used, 7 carbon atoms, hept, 8 carbon atoms, oct, 9 carbon atoms, none and 10 carbon atoms, dec. So these are the prefixes we will be using for the compounds that are containing respective number of carbon atoms. And coming to the suffix, so this is about prefixes. Coming to suffix, this indicates the nature of the compound. That means the saturation, so far what we discussed, the state of saturation. If the compound is saturated, or we can say if it contains single bonds only, then the suffix that we use is N, A-N-E-A-N. If the compound is unsaturated compound, that means the compound contains double bond or the compound contains triple bond. If the compound contains double bond, we will be using the suffix "ene", whereas the compound contains triple bond, we will be using the suffix "ine". So these are the standard prefixes and suffixes what we have. Okay, so if we consider this compound now, first of all we have to select prefix. So for that we have to count the number of carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let us write the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this compound contains, this hydrocarbon contains 6 carbon atoms. So what will be the prefix for that? 6 carbon atoms, hex. So the prefix will be, for this compound, the prefix will be hex. Now, what will be the suffix? For that, we have to see the nature of the compound. That means whether it is saturated or unsaturated compound. So saturated compound means that contains all saturated bonds. That means the single bonds only. Then unsaturated compound means that will be containing multiple bonds like double bonds and triple bonds. So if we observe this compound, this hydrocarbon, in this hydrocarbon we have only single bonds, that means saturated bonds. So this compound is having only saturated bonds, that's why we will be using the suffix "ane". So hex plus "ane". So we discussed that by adding prefix and suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound. Okay, by adding prefix and suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound. So let me get some space on the board so that I can write very clearly. So these are the prefixes and suffixes. So the compound we took is, this is the compound, and we have seen that by adding prefix and suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound. Okay. Now, this is the compound, and we have to write prefix for this compound first. Further, we have to select, we have to count the number of carbon atoms present. So total 6 carbon atoms are there in this compound. So for 6 carbon atoms, the prefix hex will be used, and the suffix. So these are the standard suffixes we have. Ein, teen, ein. These 3 are the standard suffixes we have. So to select the suffix, we have to see the nature of the compound, whether it is having any unsaturated bond or saturated bonds, like that we have to see. So in this compound only saturated bonds are present. For the saturated bonds, we will be selecting the suffix ein. So by combining, by adding both prefix and suffix, we will be getting the name of the compound, hexane. So the name of this compound will be hexane. Then let us consider the same compound having an unsaturated bond. So in this condition, as it is having unsaturated bond, for unsaturated bonds we have 2 suffixes. So in this unsaturation, we have to see whether it contains double bond or triple bond. What is the nature of this unsaturation? Here we have double bond. So for double bond, we will be using the suffix "-ine". So here the name will be, okay, I write it separately. This will be X plus "-ine", hexane. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as it is having 6 carbon atoms, the same prefix will be X and the suffix will be "-ine", as it is having the double bond. So the name of the compound will be hexene. Then if we consider this compound, again as it is having 6 carbon atoms, so the prefix will be X, and as it is having a triple bond, the suffix "-ine" will be used, and the name of the compound will be hexyne. So like this, we will be naming the simple alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So simple hydrocarbons, simple saturated hydrocarbons and simple unsaturated hydrocarbons. Like this, we will be giving the name. So while naming these unsaturated hydrocarbons, another thing we should keep in mind that we should designate the position of the unsaturation. That means on which carbon atom this unsaturation is present. See, if we observe the numbering what we gave in this compound, see, we have started numbering from this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can also start numbering from this direction also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that also we can give the numbering. So which way of numbering will be right? So here for this we have to see the rules framed by International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, which framed rules to name the hydrocarbons. Okay, that means the organic compounds. So according to the rules framed by International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, here while giving the numbering, we should keep in mind that the carbon atom on which this unsaturation is present, that should get the least possible number. So here in this case, if we start numbering from this carbon atom, this carbon atom which is having the unsaturation will be number 4, whereas if we start numbering from this carbon atom, then the carbon atom that is having unsaturation will be the second carbon atom. So as number 2 is less than number 4, we have to prefer numbering from this carbon atom only, because according to the rules framed by IUPAC, the carbon atom that is having unsaturation should get the least possible number. So the name of this compound, the detailed, that means the correct name of this compound will be 2-hexene, or we can say hex-2-ene. Okay, so like this we will be naming the compound. If we consider this case, so the same rule will be applicable for this compound also. So the carbon atom on which the unsaturation is present, that should get the least possible number. So in this case also, the second carbon atom only is having the unsaturation, so the name of the compound will be 2-hexene or hex-2-ine. So this will be the name of the compound. So this is how we will give the names to the simple saturated hydrocarbons and simple unsaturated hydrocarbons. So we will consider some other cases. What if multiple unsaturations are present? In this condition, the name of the compound will be 2-hexene or hex-2-ene. Let us consider the compound is having multiple unsaturations. In that condition, how we will name the compound? So here, as usual, the compound is having 6 carbon atoms, so we have to write the prefix hex, and it is having unsaturation, okay, and the unsaturation is double bond, so the suffix we have to add is ene. But here we have 2 unsaturations, the 2 same kind of unsaturations we have. So how we will name this compound? To represent 2 unsaturations, we will be writing diene. That means for this suffix also, to represent the number of unsaturations present, we will be adding one more prefix here, like di, tri, tetra, penta. So these are the prefixes that we will be adding to the suffix again to represent the number of unsaturations present in the given compound. So here di represents number 2, tri represents number 3, tetra represents number 4, penta represents number 5, and so on. So here we have 2 unsaturations two same kind of unsaturations. So we will be using the name diene. So instead of adding simply ene, we will be using diene. So the name of the compound will be hexadiene, or we can say hexadiene. Now the question is, if we write simply hexadiene instead of here, if the double bond is present here also, or instead of here, if we see the double bond here, so in such conditions also the name of the compound will be hexadiene only, because two unsaturations are present here. So in such conditions, what we have to do, we have to designate the positions of the double bond by using the numericals. So the name of this compound will be 2, 3 on the second carbon, and third carbon unsaturation is present, hexadiene, or we can write as hexa 2,3-diene. So like this we will be giving the name to the compound. Let us consider the triple bond, multiple triple bonds. Okay, in this condition, how we will be naming the compound? So the same thing what we have done in case of the double bond, in triple bond also we will be doing the same thing. We have to give numbering. So if we start numbering from this direction or from this carbon atom also, the same thing will happen, because here also the second carbon atom is having the unsaturation, here also the second carbon atom is having the unsaturation. So whichever the direction or whichever the carbon atom, whichever the end we select to start the numbering, that won't be a problem, because here also the second carbon atom, here also the second carbon atom. So here the name of the compound will be, as it is having 6 carbon atoms, the prefix hex we will take, and as it is having unsaturation, we have to select the type of unsaturation. Here triple bond is the unsaturation this compound is having, so ion we have to use actually, but here we have 2 ions, so 2 triple bonds are present, so that's why we will be using diene. So the name will be hexadiene or hexadiene. Okay, so we have to designate the positions also. That's why the name of the compound will be 2, 4 hexadiene or hexa 2,4-diene. So like this we will be naming the multiple unsaturations. So what we will do in case of combined unsaturations? So this type of unsaturations we will be calling as combined unsaturations. So here in this case, which unsaturation will be given the first priority? Because here second carbon atom, from this carbon atom if we start numbering, second carbon atom is having unsaturation. From this carbon atom if we start numbering, again the second carbon is having unsaturation. So if it is triple bond, that won't be a problem, because both are same type of unsaturations. So if we start from here or if we start from here, that won't be a problem. But here both are different unsaturations, so which carbon atom to be given the first priority, or we can say which unsaturation to be given the first priority. So in this direction, in this type of conditions, we will be considering the stability of unsaturations as the preferred priority. So here the most stable unsaturation will be given the first priority. So if we consider the triple bond and double bond, among these two, the double bond will be having the more stability when compared with the triple bond. That's why this will be given the first priority. So the numbering will start from this carbon atom, because according to IUPAC, the paired carbon atom should get the least possible number. So here we are giving the first preference to this unsaturation, That's why we will start numbering from this carbon atom. So here in this condition, what we will write, as it is having 6 carbon atoms, we will write X. Then the suffix, we have 2 suffixes. So first suffix will be "ene" and this will be "ine". So here the name of the compound will be X2-ene 4-ine. So this will be the name of the compound. Xr2-ene 4-ine will be the name of the compound. So like this we will be giving the names to the combined unsaturations. So like this we will be naming the compounds the straight chain hydrocarbons. So now we will see the branched chain hydrocarbons. So the branched chain. What do you mean by branched chain? That means these hydrocarbons will be having a substituent, or we can say a side chain. So here in branched chain hydrocarbons we will be having 2 chains. One will be the parent chain, another will be the substituent or the side chain. So here the parent chain means the longest possible continuous chain, whereas the side chain is the smaller chain. So let us have the example. So this is the example. So we have to select the parent chain and the substituent chain. First of all, we have to select the parent chain and the substituent, or we can say the side chain. So this substituent or side chain we can also call as branch. This is called as branch. So as these compounds contain branches along with the parent chain or the main chain, we will be calling these compounds as branched chain hydrocarbons. So we will see now what is the parent chain and what is the substituent or what is the branch. So here we will see the possibilities. We have to select the longest possible continuous chain. So we will see the possibilities. What are all the possibilities we have here to select a longest possible continuous chain? So first the straight chain I am taking. So the straight chain, the continuous chain, we are not breaking anywhere. So this contains 7 carbon atoms. Then another possibility, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this contains 9 carbon atoms. Then another possibility, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. So this contains 7 carbon atoms. So we have totally 3 possibilities. That means 3 possible continuous chains. So among these 3 possible continuous chains, we have to select the longest possible continuous chain. So here, if we observe all these 3 possibilities of the continuous chains, the chain that have 9 carbon atoms is the longest continuous chain here. So we will select this chain as the parent chain, and the name of this chain will be as usual, like prefix and suffix we have to add. So 9 carbon atoms we have, so none, and as it is having only single bonds, that means the saturated bonds, we will be adding the name suffix A. So the name of the this chain will be nanane. So this parent name will be the suffix here, nanane. Now we have to identify the branch or substituent or side chain. So this we selected as the parent chain. This we selected as the parent chain, so the remaining will be the side chain or the branch or substituent. So what is this side chain? So this is having two carbon atoms. So if it is having two carbon atoms, we will be giving the prefix eth. So here eth, and it is having single bond, so ane we will be using. This is ethane substituent. But we already discussed in the previous videos that if we remove one hydrogen from any alkane or alkene like that, then the compound will be called as alkyl substituent. If we are removing one hydrogen from any alkanes, then the compound will be called as alkyl group. So here, if from ethane we removed one hydrogen and we added this compound to this carbon atom, so here this will be considered as ethyl substituent. So the name of this substituent will be the prefix of the compound. So the name of the compound will be ethyl nanane. But here we have to keep in mind that the presence of this substituent should be designated with the numerical, because if this ethyl substituent is present on this carbon atom or on this carbon atom or on this carbon atom or on this carbon atom, no matter on which carbon atom this ethyl substituent is present, this will be called as ethyl nanane only. So the position of this ethyl substituent is very much important. That's why we have to designate the position of this ethyl substituent. So if we give numbering from this direction, from this carbon atom, the fifth carbon atom is having the ethyl substituent, or if we start numbering from here, then again fifth carbon atom is having the ethyl substituent. So if we start from here, also, that is not an issue, because in both the cases the fifth carbon atom only getting the substituent. So the name of the compound will be 5-ethyl nanane. That means in nanane the fifth carbon atom is having ethyl substituent. So 5-ethyl nanane. This will be the name of the compound. So here one thing we should keep in mind, that as we have seen in case of unsaturations, here also this substituted carbon atom should get the least possible number. So if let us consider the same ethyl group is present on this carbon atom, then if we start numbering from here, the sixth carbon atom will get the ethyl substituent. If we start numbering from here, the fourth carbon atom will get the ethyl substituent. So according to IUPAC rules, the substituted carbon atom, that means the carbon atom on which the substituent is present or the branch is present, that should get the least possible number. So here 4 will be lesser than, I'll write. Let us consider this case. Okay, so in this case the 4 will be lesser than 6. So we will start numbering from here, and the name of the compound will be 4-ethyl nanane. So like that we will be giving the names to the branch chain saturated hydrocarbons. What if more than one side chain is present? So what if more than one side chain is present? If we observe this case, as usual, what we have to do, we have to select the parent chain first. What is the parent chain? The longest possible continuous chain. So here we will select the parent chain first. So one possibility, 7 carbon atoms. Second possibility, 6 carbon atoms. Third possibility, 8 carbon atoms. Fourth possibility, 7 carbon atoms. Then again, observe carefully, here you may get confused. This is the another possibility. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this case also we are getting 7 carbon atoms. Then one more possibility. This is another possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon atoms. Then another possibility. So here we have so many possibilities. Okay, don't get confused. Observe carefully. So one more possibility we have is like this. Okay. So in this condition, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon atoms we have. Then see one more possibility here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again 6 carbon atoms. And one more possibility. 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atoms. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. 6 carbon atoms. So these many possible continuous chains are present in this compound. So among all these possibilities, which is the longest possible continuous chain, the compound, the chain which is having 8 carbon atoms will be the longest possible continuous chain. So which chain it will be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be the longest possible continuous chain. So this chain is the longest possible continuous chain. Okay, so as it is having 8 carbon atoms, we will select the prefix oct, and as it is having only single bonds, we will be selecting the suffix ane. So the name of this compound or parent chain, the name of the parent chain will be octane. Now we have to select the substituents or the branches. So one is ethyl branch, then this will be considered as propyl branch because this is a continuous chain. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So 3 carbon atoms it is having, and all these 3 carbon atoms are having continuous, there is a possibility of framing continuous chain. So this can be considered as propyl. So otherwise, if it is like this, means this will be considered as propyl chain and this will be considered as methyl chain on the propyl chain. So as it is in this form, this can be considered as propyl substituent. So here in this condition, what we will do, we will be arranging the names of these substituents in alphabetical order. So here E will come first and P will be the next in the alphabetical order. So the name of the compound will be ethyl propyl. So like this we have to arrange the names of the substituents. So simply we can name like ethyl propyl octane. Okay. But here we should keep in mind that as we have seen in previous case, we have to designate the positions of these substituents, exact positions of these substituent. So what we have to do for that, we have to give numbering. So if we start from here, the fourth carbon atom will get the substituent. If we start from here, 1 2 3 4, again fourth carbon atom will get the numbering. So what we will be doing, we will start numbering either from here or from here, no matter. Okay, so either 4 ethyl, 5 propyl, octane, or we can say like okay. So here fourth carbon atom is having ethyl substituent, fifth carbon atom is having propyl substituent. What we will do in this case? In this case, we will be giving the priority for the molecular weight of the compound. So propyl group is having more molecular weight. That means if propyl group is having more number of carbon atoms, so we will give the priority for this carbon atom only. So in this condition, what we will be doing? We will be giving the numbering from here. So 1 2 3 4. So this will be 4 propyl and 5 ethyl. But according to the rules, what we have seen, these substituents should arrange in alphabetical order. So the name of the compound will be 5-ethyl, 4-propyl, and as it is having 8 carbon atoms, octane. So like this, we will be naming the compound. Okay, now if it is like this, in this condition also this is propyl group, in this condition also this is propyl group, but here the carbon atom which is attached directly to the parent chain, that matters. See, in this condition the first carbon atom is attached to the parent chain, whereas in this condition the second carbon atom is attached to the parent chain. So what we have to do here, this should be indicated. So in the fourth position, 2-propyl, octane. Like this, we have to give numbering. That means the second carbon atom is directly attached to the parent chain. So 5-ethyl, 4-2-propyl, octane. This will be the name of the compound. So instead of this, if we say like 2 ethyl groups are present, in this condition what we will do? So here 4, 5. So two carbon atoms are having the same type of substituents or branches. So diethyl, 4, 5, diethyl octane. Like this, we will be naming the compound. What in this case? So here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So maximum we are getting 7 carbon atoms only. So the same thing will be the parent chain, octane. Now we have to select the side chains. So this will be the 1 2 3 propyl, but in this propyl group we are having one methyl substituent also. So actually the second carbon atom is having methyl substituent. So this will be called as 2-methyl propyl. Okay, this is 2-methyl propyl substituent and it is ethyl substituent. So in this condition, how we will name the compound means, as usual, this will be given the first priority. So 4, on fourth carbon atom we have 2-methyl propyl 5. Oh, sorry. We have to arrange in alphabetical order now. So 5-ethyl, then 4 2-methyl propyl octane. So here the name of the compound will be this. On the 5th position we have ethyl substituent, and on the 4th position we have 2-methyl propyl substituent. See, actually on the 4th position we have a propyl substituent, and on this propyl substituent the second carbon atom is having methyl substituent. So that's why we kept it in the brackets, or we can say this as parenthesis. So if any side chain is having, or any branch is having sub branch, that sub branch will be represented in parenthesis like this. So here 5-ethyl, 5-ethyl, 4-propyl, 4-propyl, and this 4-propyl, 2-methyl substituent is present. Second carbon atom is having 2-methyl substituent, so 2-methyl. And as it is, the parent chain is octane, the name will be octane. So 5-ethyl, 4-2-methyl propyl octane. So like this, we will be giving the name to the compound. So this is about the nomenclature of saturated hydrocarbons, whether they are branched or unbranched. And we have seen the nomenclature of unsaturated straight chain hydrocarbons. Now, how to name the unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons? So here, unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, they are of two kinds. That means they are of two types based upon the presence of unsaturation, whether this unsaturation is present on the parent chain or this unsaturation is present on the branched chain. See, here also again two categories we have, whether the unsaturation this unsaturated branched chain, that means in this branched chain also, based upon the position of the unsaturation, we have two categories, whether the unsaturation is directly bound to the parent chain, or whether the unsaturation is separated from the parent chain with one or two carbon atoms. That means we can have the example like this. So this is the this will be the parent chain and this will be the side chain, or we can consider this will be the parent chain and this will be the side chain. So if the unsaturation is present here, we will consider this as the unsaturated parent chain only, this category, or if we consider the unsaturation is present here, so this will come under the first category of unsaturated branched chain. That means the unsaturation is directly bound to the parent chain here, or if we consider like this and the unsaturation is present, then the unsaturation is separated from the main parent chain. Okay, so this three kinds of unsaturations we will be observing in the unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons. So before starting this topic, I forgot one thing regarding the straight chain compounds only, branched chain compounds only. So in the branched chain compounds, if we have the carbon substituent on the second carbon atom, instead of writing the name as 2-methyl, we can also use one more name as iso. So if the second carbon atom is having one methyl substituent here, we actually, according to IUPAC rules, what we will be doing, we will be selecting the longest possible side chain, parent chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be. So as it is having 5 carbon atoms, we will be selecting pentane. So the second carbon atom is having methyl substituent, so 2-methyl pentane. The name will be 2-methyl pentane. So in other words, we can write as iso. So if we are using the prefix iso, in this condition what we have to do, we have to count all the carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6 carbon atoms are present. So for 6 carbon atoms we will be using the prefix hex, and as it is the saturated carbon compound, we will be using A. So isohexane. So this name indicates presence of 6 carbon atoms, and in these 6 carbon atoms, the second carbon atom is having the methyl substituent. So like this, in case the second carbon atom is having 2 carbon substituents, then according to IUPAC system, what we will be doing 2, 2 dimethyl pentane. So instead of writing like this, we have some other also, like neo. So if it is having 2 carbon substituents, then the prefix neo is added. So here also we have to count the total number of carbon atoms: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 carbon atoms means hept, neoheptane. Like this. So like this we will be naming the straight chain and branched chain saturated hydrocarbons, and we have seen the unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, how they are classified. So regarding the nomenclature of these unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.